Hello, I'm sorry. I I forgot again to turn on the audio because I'm using two microphone, the one for the desktop and the one for this speaker. Uh, by the way, before we get back to the codes, to the source codes, again I wanna reiterate briefly those things that I have spoken just very recently. Again, our very important topic for today is about how to delete records from the database because for the past sessions that we had, I taught you on how to view records. So firstly, on how to view records, to fetch records from the database. So let's say for example, what the example that we've created is about an address book or viewing of contacts. So with the view contacts.php, we're able to display all the records or all the contacts that you have from your table contacts. And then on the second day, we've added some tags. And then last night, I mean yesterday morning, I taught you on how to, I've demonstrated on how to save contacts or to add record. So again, in web development, we have four important things that we must learn. So those are the four vital functionalities. Number one, again, is the viewing of records. Second, adding of records, the one that we've created yesterday morning, because during MWF we are 6 to 7 a.m. So today again is Thursday, although we've started a little late because I've just arrived from work, from the office. And then another thing is that so we have the viewing, the adding, and today or tonight is about the deletion of records. So let's say for example, we want to delete that contact because we've mistakenly entered it, or let's say that contact details or contact person doesn't exist already because you can contact him or her anymore. So something like that. So for whatever reason, you want to delete the record. So that again, this is not only applicable for this particular example, which is the address book and about the your contacts, but the principle that I'm teaching you about adding, viewing, deleting, and on the next meeting or the next session will be about the updating of records. So these principles are applicable. These functionalities are applicable to any web development that you wanna do in the future, or even everything that you wanna do must have these functionalities. Otherwise, that could not be called a system. You cannot create a system if you don't know how to view the records. Because let's say for example, if you have a form and then you can save it or store it to your database, but you cannot view it, so that's useless. Let's say for example, if you can view the records like what we've created, but you cannot add additional records, and it's not advisable, and of course the users could not access directly the database to add a record like what we've done on the first time, because when during our first session we don't have yet adding of record or the form where you can enter the information of your new contacts. That's why we opened directly from the phpMyAdmin, the MySQL database. We've opened it and then we insert from there. So that is not the normal way, because you will not allow your end users, like Facebook, you do not register directly to the database. So there is a form where you can sign up, and you click the sign up button, you will be brought to the sign up form, and you will fill up everything, and you must enter the required fields. Those are denoted by asterisk or bold letters, something like that. And then there are also some optional fields, but the thing is that when you click the submit or the register or the save, it will be stored in the database. So the same thing that we've created last time. So again, let's go back to our source codes, okay, so that you could recall. Okay, so from here, we've already created two files, the view contacts.php and the view underscore contacts.php and the save underscore contact.php, the one that we did yesterday morning. Okay, so because it's Wednesday. Again, as you can see from your window, we have here, we've added some of the HTML tags. Okay, because last time we just echoed it directly from the PHP script. So by this time, we've been, or yesterday, we've added this HTML tags and with the head. And actually, we can add from our body, because if we're going to access this, just for you to be able to recall, I'll show you the, okay, before we continue editing, I'll show you first the output of this, or the result for this. So I'll check the browser. Okay, I will share to you the browser. Okay, so right now you can see the browser, and then we will access the view contacts.php. So it's under the test, and then view contacts.php. Okay, so these are the changes that we created yesterday. Okay, so we already have this form where you can add more contacts, add another contact, or even more. Okay, and automatic this list will be updated. Okay, once the save contact button is being clicked. Okay, now let's add some title here so that this would be quite meaningful. Although again, by this time, we're not going to enhance much of the HTML part and the CSS part of this, because again, our main concern are the four main functionalities, or the four important functionalities: the viewing, the adding, and today we will do the deletion. Again, let's go back to the source code. Okay, so from this source code, we will add, let's say, address book title here, somewhere here. So we will use the H tag, H1, because we have the H1, 2, 3. So the greater the number, let's say H1, H2, H3. So the greater the number, the smaller the head. Okay, or the header. So we'll put here H1. So this is the biggest among those H tags or header tags. So H1 is slash H1. And then we will put here the title. Let's say the same thing with this title that you can see from the title bar, and title that we could also see on our body, on our content or body part of the HTML. So once we refresh this, of course, that should appear at the top. Okay, so okay, let's check the browser, and then let us try to refresh this. See, so we have now this, and then you can just apply center or a color or whatever. So you can modify this, you can enhance actually the design, but again, that's not our what we wanna learn for today, for tonight. We will focus first on the deletion. I just added that so that this would become something meaningful. Okay. So this save contact, we've tried that already yesterday. So you can add more. Let's say, so you can just add more and then save contact, and that is automatic. So what I want to show to you tonight is the deletion. So we will add another column here on this part after the contact number. About, let's say, we will put their action. So let's say for action, for every row that we will show from here, or every record, or every contact in layman's term that we are going to show from here, we will put edit link or button, or maybe by this time only an href, ahref, or anchor tag for the link. So I will put here. Okay. Again, let's go back to the source code, and then from this source code, we will add, as I've said, we will add another column. So how are we going to do that? Here, for the th, I will just copy this one, and then here I will put action, or actions, or action, something like that. And inside the looping statement, these things, we will add another TD here. Okay, add another TD, and we will put here an anchor tag, a href equals okay, we will think later if what we're going to specify inside this one, this empty string. So there should be an action there about the deletion. Okay, so here let's say so this is a /a, of course, anchor tag. This is a sandwich tag. This is something like this. Okay, it's something like that. So a close a, because that is a sandwich tag. It just happened that this href is one of the attributes or properties of an a or anchor tag. Okay, you will learn that as you go along with the HTML topic. Okay, because after we completed the 4 major functionalities, we're going to discuss from HTML and then to JavaScript, a little CSS, and then again PHP and MySQL. Okay, so from here, let's say we will add a label edit. So that is a clickable edit link. Okay, so let's save this, and then after we save this, let's check again the browser. Okay, so from our browser, we will refresh from here. See, so we already have here a button. I'm not a button but a link, or you can choose if it's button or just a link. So we've specified just an anchor tag. If it's button, it's like this one. So let's try this first. Edit, and then once we click this particular contact should be what could we do? Maybe we could put here so that we don't need another file. When we click this, it will be redirected here, and this John Doe will be Doe, John, first name, right, John, and then Doe, and then these numbers, these values. The same thing with any of these contacts that we have here. So if we click this one, it's for Maria Clara. If we click this one, that's for Tony Regondola. So whatever the value here, or whatever the contact names that you're going to select from here. Okay, so there is an equivalent action for every record. Although you can do other design, we've just tried to simplify this so that you could easily follow on how to do this. Okay, I know not edit. This is for tomorrow. Okay, we will replace this for delete. I'm sorry for that. Anyway, we will just change the caption by this time. We've not gone too far yet. Okay, so instead of edit, I'm sorry, I'll show you the source code for a moment. So instead of edit, we will replace this with delete. Okay, so by tomorrow we will add another functionality, and that is for editing or edit. Okay, so we'll save this again, and then let's try to go back to our browser and refresh the page. Okay, so it's now delete, but when we click this one, nothing will happen because we have not yet we did not do anything yet. Okay, we did not do any coding for here, for this one, or any functionality for this. We're just preparing the design. Anyway, this is not a very beautiful design because we're not after with that for this time. Okay, so how are we going to do this now? So that's our problem, and that's the thing that we need to learn for tonight. Okay, once we click this, we have to do something for the deletion. So I think we need to create something like delete_contact.php. Although you can name it whatever naming convention that you like, but again, I would advise that it should be something brief but descriptive. Okay, so that you will not be confused with your naming with your variables, with your file names or whatever. So that's a good practice and discipline Okay, not only for programmers or developers, but even for you as an individual. If you are saving records or saving documents to your laptop or desktop or to your gadget, you must name it very not professionally, but something that would be meaningful or descriptive to what you want to name, okay, or to whatever naming convention that you want to apply to anything that you do with your computer or with your documents or with your programs especially. Okay, so going back here, so what I'm showing you right now is the page. Okay, so let's go back to the source code. Okay, so from here, once the delete this is not button, delete link is clicked, we will redirect this to delete contact.php, and of course we need to create this one. Okay, so if yesterday we have the same contact, what we're going to do right now is the delete contact. I think in order to do that, okay, we can just create new file here. Okay, let's add new document. So you need a PHP tag because we're using PHP, and then from here, what we need to do is to get the ID, or the key or the ID from that particular record that we want to delete. Okay, so how are we going to do that? Let's go back to the view contacts, because that is from where we add a link. Okay, because after this one, we will redirect into the list delete contact. So from here, we should have additional information. So question mark, after the question mark, we will specify the URL variable that we're going to use on the next page, which is the delete contact.php. Okay, so from here, let's just name that as ID. Okay, and then for this ID, let's concatenate the ID. Okay, so $row and then the ID, because if you can still remember, we have okay, I think we don't need this one, only the concatenation for the ID, this ID equal sign, and then the actual value, and then here this one, the single code. Okay, so that's it. So again, this ID, as you can, if you still remember, we have 4 field names or columns from our contacts table. We have the ID, the last name, the last underscore name, the first underscore name, and the contact underscore number. Okay, so let's save this. Again, let's go back to the page. Okay, so from here, when we refresh this, okay, you observe this one. When we mouse over, or we put the mouse over this link, you observe this part, okay, the status here. So as you can see from there, we have the localhost /test/lessons, because that is the path where we save those files. Delete underscore contact.php question mark ID equals 1. Okay, so meaning to say, this ID equals 1, the one there is an ID which is dynamic. So as I move to the next record, it becomes 2, it becomes 3, or let's say I go directly with this, it becomes 5. So it depends on the ID where that ID was being saved from our MySQL. Okay, let's open again the PHP MyAdmin. Okay, so from here, okay, so this is the localhost PHP MyAdmin. What do you see right now? Okay, that's good. So that is the PHP my admin, and then I entered the password for the admin. Okay. Oh, I cannot. Okay, that's good. So from here, from our test table, or you can name that, let's say, instead of test, address book, something like that. Anyway, so that is test table, so on test database, and then under that, we have this table contacts. We named that contacts, this one, contacts. So from here, we have this records, okay? So as you can see from here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So this is the ID that I mean. Okay. When we go back here and we put the mouse over this link, so we have the ID equals 1 from here. Okay. And as you see, ID equals 2 and ID equals 5, 4. So it depends. It's not always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or incremental. Sometimes, although this is auto increment ID, when you delete the, let's say this one on the third part, when you add, so we don't have already the 3 ID. So by this time, it's not our problem. Okay, for as long as whatever the value from here, and that is the ID value that is supposed to be here, because this would be the identifier, the key for us to know if what record are we pointing to. Okay, so or are we going to manipulate? So from here, when we click this, okay, let's click this one, let's say Django. If I click that, okay, so not found. So why is it not found? So there is a problem. So this is localhost test lessons delete underscore contact.php. What's the problem with this? Not found. So let us check the source code. Okay, let's go back to the source code, and then we will check if what happened. So again, from okay, so from here we have the ahref delete underscore contact.php. And then what happened to this? For a moment, we will check. So PHP and then ID equals. We haven't yet saved this one. There is no existing delete underscore contact.php. So we need to save this. Let's say I will put something here. Delete contact, something like this. Okay, so we will save this. We haven't saved this yet. That's why, that is the problem. That page not found, that's not existing yet. So I will save this to the same path that we're using right now, HTML, and then test, and then lessons, and then I will save this as delete contact, delete contact.php, because as you can see, it's untitled there, untitled. So delete underscore contact.php and then save. Okay, so now we have the delete contact.php. Okay, so let's try again. Let's go back to the page, and then let's try to click this again. See, so we have now here the delete contact, but when we go back to that view contacts page, that record is still there. It's not yet deleted because we have not done anything yet about deletion. What we have done is just we redirect this this link to delete underscore contact.php. Okay, so what's the purpose of this ID? Okay, so this changes depending on the ID or depending on the record or contact person that you have deleted, as I have explained a while ago. Okay, so what we're going to do is that let's go back to the source code. Okay, so from here, what we need to do is to get first the ID. Okay, so how do we get that? So let's say, let's make or define a variable, let's say $ID, and then $_get, $_get, like $_post and session are built-in commands or reserved words in PHP. So we use get if it is a URL variable, okay, or a get method from the form, and then get, and then the ID, because we name the same name. What will be specified after this question mark here, question mark, and then the same name. So this is what we are referring with this, okay? So this one is a declaration of variable from here. This one is what we have specified from here, okay? So don't be confused with that, because I could name this as other name, let's say TMP_ID. So, but this one could not be a TMP_ID, because what we use here is just an ID. So whatever URL variable that you specified from here should be the variable that you're going to get from here. Okay, so that's it. And then let us see if we could already, so let's just name this as ID, not TMP ID. Okay, so let's echo this also. So let's put some BR after this one so that it will move to the next line before echoing or printing another things. So echo, and then let's say $ID, something like that. And then let us see if that could be displayed or if that will change according to the ID that the user will click. Okay, so let's go back to the page. And then from here, okay, we press again the Django delete. See, so this is 1. So if we click the 1 de la Cruz, so that is 5. So meaning to say, our program now could fetch or get whatever ID from that particular record that we are choosing from here. Because when we loop this, we specify the ID, and then so that's the difference among these things. So this is another proof of a dynamic website or application. So this is not static because it changes, okay, without modifying the source codes. Again, when I click this Django 1, so what are we going to do with that? Okay, let's get back again to the source code. Okay, so we need to know that because we need to identify if what particular record are we going to delete. Okay, and before we could do such deletion, we also need to have a connection to the database like we did last time. So this one, so we also need this. I'll just copy this and put it here. Okay, so this one, meaning to say we have already established the connection. So once we have already established the connection to our database, that's the time that we can already do something with it, like what we did in our view contacts and save contact.php. Okay, so from here we could already issue again a MySQL query, and then we could specify here the statement. So what is statement do we need to know now for today? So since this is deletion, we should know the syntax for the delete or the deletion of record from the table. Okay, so that's only very simple. It's easy to understand because it is also the same with human language. So delete, and then from what particular table. So that is from table contacts, because that is our table name. We have the database test and then the table name. Okay, I'll save this first, but I'm going to show you with the PHP MySQL admin to know to check the MySQL database, okay, and the table. So from here again, okay, let's go to the PHP MyAdmin to see the MySQL database. So here you can see the table contacts. So our database is test, okay, whatever name that you have specified, and then our table is contacts. So this is the table contacts, and these are the records that we have browsed, or that we are browsing right now. Okay, so that's what it means. Okay, so again, going back here, let's go back again to the source code. So again, going back here, as you can see from here, delete from contacts, but we need to specify if what particular ID. Otherwise, it will delete all your records from the contacts. So that's not our purpose. We are not emptying or deleting all records from our contacts or our address book. What we want to delete is just a specific contact person or contact details. Okay? So, meaning to say, we need to have a where clause or condition. So, space, where, and then ID equals, if we put 1, so it will always delete the ID equals 1. But what if that record is already deleted? So, we cannot, that would be an error. That would be a problem. So we need to make that dynamic. Okay, so that is why, as you can see from our third line, we get the value from the URL variable ID from here. So whatever value from here that is being concatenated, that is being passed into this variable, that we're going to get from here, would be the dynamic value of ID. So just put $ID. So as simple as that. Meaning to say, whatever ID or whichever contact is being deleted or being clicked from there will be redirected from here. Okay? So, okay. Once you have this, actually this is already good, but we need to have I think we need to have here, we can assign this into a variable, let's say $query or Q for query. So that is our statement or our query. So if $Q, if this query is successful, meaning to say you have deleted that successfully, and then we could echo, so we will remove this here. That is just for testing purposes, if we could really get the ID value. So from here, we could make an echo, let's say contact that contact has been deleted, something like that. And then we could specify here return to contacts list. Okay, so what we need to do is we will make this clickable, the return, or we could specify something like that, capital return, and then ahref equals let's point back to the view contacts. Okay, so that's view underscore contacts dot php, and then that's it. And what we need is /a, because what we want to become clickable is only the return word or caption. Okay, so that contact has been deleted. Return to contacts list, or we can put br here. Okay, so that it will move to the next line. Okay, save this, and okay, let's try this one. Okay, let's go back to the page. Okay, let's go back to the page, and then back, and then so we have now this. So let's say, for example, if we add no, if we want to delete, let's say we want to remove Django. So when we click the delete or this link, see, oh, delete contact, but oh, let us see from our database if that is already deleted. Maybe there is a problem. Refresh. We still have 5 records here, so that's not yet deleted. Delete from table name where ID, something like this, and then what's the problem with this? Okay, we forgot again to put the, so this is lost because this is statement could not execute because this doesn't know the connection or to the database that you need to, that you are pointing to. Okay. Okay, let's go back to the source code. I'm sorry. So from the source code, again, we forgot to specify here the database connection. So $con and then comma C. I always forget this because to be honest with you guys, I'm no longer using this what do you call this? This kind or this way of doing the programs because we're already using different frameworks. So I could also share some as we go along in the future, because before you can continue with that, you have to learn first things, some topics. Okay, so but this one is again very important for you to know, because even if you don't know the framework, you could make, for as long as you know the CRUD, the create, read, update, and delete, or the add, edit, delete, and view. For as long as you know on how to do that, you could come up with a system. You could develop a system. So that's the good thing with this. Okay. So again, we lack this parameter. This means that this statement should be pointed or executed into this particular database. This database, or this one is a connection. So one of the arguments will be the database here, and of course the admin, the username for the database, and the database password, and where this database is located. So that's it. And then now let's go back to the page. Let's save this one and let us see again. Let's go back to the page, and from our page here, I will first go back to to our address book or contacts list. So from here, once we click this one, let's say if we wanna delete the Django contact person. Okay, if we click this one, see, so we have a delete contact. That contact has been deleted. Okay, return to contacts list, so, or address book, whatever the caption or that you want to specify here. So if I click this return, as you can see again from here, we have there the link of view_contacts.php. Be very careful with the spelling, because if you just only type view_contact without s, but your name there is with s, so that will be lost, page not found. So that's a different thing. Okay, so if I click this return link, see, so we're now here, but by this time we only have 4 records. So that is how the deletion is being done and how it works. Okay, so actually we're done, and we could put some validations later, but not this time, I think, because so that you will not be overloaded with information. And I want also to use the remaining time for the question being raised. One of the questions being raised by our actually it was sent to me through email by some of our audience here. Okay, but anyway, before I answer that question, I will again go back to the source code so that you could review. Okay, so okay, I will just explain this very briefly. Okay, so again, this one is just a caption. You could specify also here h tag. Let's say h1 and then slash h1, the closing tag, and then br. So let's have another. Okay, so from here, okay, let us see. Let's try to refresh. Just a little enhancement of the design. Let's try to delete another record. Say Maria Clara, Pedro Penduco, Juan de la Cruz. Okay, let's say this one, Pedro Penduco. Okay, let's delete this. As you can see, that's the ID of that is 3. When we click that, okay, so see, delete contact. That contact has been deleted. Return to contacts list, and then see, this one is already H1. So that is just a design thing. Okay, I'm not saying that design is not important, but what I'm trying to explain again is we are just prioritizing by this time the functionalities. Okay, but as you go along with the HTML, CSS, and CSS thing, you will learn on how to enhance your designs. Okay, so let's go back again to the source code again. So for as long as you know the different HTML tags and the CSS things, you can enhance the design, you can decorate this. Okay, so while you are reviewing these codes again, let's try to navigate again. So from here, from the view contact, so we have not done anything already for this particular, for the save contact that we created yesterday morning. We have not done from this part. We were done with this. Okay, we have not modified anything from here. So what we manipulated or modified are the view contact, is the view contacts.php, and we've added another one file, which is the delete underscore contact.php. Going back to the view contacts, what changes that we've made? We add this one, the title, because this title is the title for your title bar. This one is the body title. Okay, so it becomes bold because of this h1 tag, and then after that, so we did not do anything about the saving because it's done. And then from here, we've added this row ID because this ID is not this one. So this is not the same. You can change this even if it's different from here, but this one should not be different from this one because that is the ID from the table. Okay, from the table contacts. So this one is a URL variable. This one is something like a variable, but we call that field name from our table. So this one, they are different. We've just named it. We've just named that similar or similarly because so that we will not be confused. Okay, but again, these things inside this row variable are field names or column names from our table, which is contacts, yung pangalan, the name of that. Okay, so again, ID is always the key or the primary key being used in database manipulation. Okay, if you want to delete, if you want to fetch, if you want to view, if you want to get, so that one is very important. Okay, so we don't need to get everything, the first name, last name, only the key. And once we identified the key, the ID, and then from that ID, we could already delete the entire row, not the entire records, not all the records, but the entire details or information of this particular row or record, because they are different in ID, or the ID field. Okay, so this is dynamic again. So that is just a review of what we did tonight or today. Okay, and we have here an if condition to see to it that this is already successfully deleted, and before we finally say or print or echo this text or sentences here, that contact has been deleted, and then etc., and then this one, the return link. So that's it. That's all for now. Okay, so going back to the question that was being sent to me, one of our audiences, or of our subscribers from this channel, asked if how could he run this kind of applications. Actually, what you need is to have the PHP, what do you call this, the lump, the WAMP, and the SUMP. I will write from here so that I will just add another untitled document. So what you need for you to be able to run a PHP, MySQL, PHP and MySQL, because in HTML you don't need to install anything, but from this one, what you need is the lump. So if you're using Linux, mine is Linux, so this is for Linux, and then Apache, and then MySQL, and then P is for PHP. So that is lump. Okay, so the other one is the WAMP. This is for Windows. Okay, Windows, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. So you can install that. This is a package. Okay, so you can install that, and then you will be having MySQL and PHP, and then you can already do your thing or this kind of exercises. And then the SUMP. SUMP stands for cross-platform. Meaning to say, you can download SUMP for Linux, for Windows, or even for Mac OS. So double P, because this one is PHP and this one is Perl. Okay, so I recommend, especially if you're using Windows, that you can just download the SUMP of Windows version, and you just check if it's 32 or 64-bit, and then it's very easy to install, because you will just click the next button there. There is an instruction there, and then finally you could install that. And if you finally install that, you have to run the service. Okay, you have to open the SUMP and start the service for PHP and MySQL. I did not explain this during the previous meetings sessions, because this is actually another topic on doing the installation of these things. Because my purpose is for you to be able to actually not do the coding first, not do the scripting first or the programming thing. What I want you, if you are novice in web development, what I want you to do right now, or to do this time, is to just grasp the idea, the general idea on what are the things that we need to do in a web development. So as simple as add or insert record, viewing of record, deletion of record, and tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock to 7 a.m. we are going to finally complete these functionalities. I'm going to teach you about the editing. Okay, so once we want to change the information or to edit the information, let's say that contact person has changed already his or her number or contact number, then there should be a way on how to do that. Although we could change directly that record from our database, from our MySQL, using the PHP MyAdmin or whatever the tool or GUI tool, meaning application, so that you could any application that you could use to open the MySQL, to open the record and delete or modify the record. What I recommend is that you have to learn the on how to do the functionality on the page or on the web application that you're doing, not directly to the database. Okay, because again, if you create a system, even if it's a simple or a very simple system with a CRUD functionality. When I say CRUD, that is the create, read, CRUD, update, and then delete. So in other terms, that it's add, edit, delete, and view. Okay, so it is very important that you know these four functionalities for you to be able to create a system, be it simple or the complex one. Okay, so I'm giving you, it's just 9:27. I'm giving you another 3 minutes to navigate with the codes. I'll show you again the other source codes from the view contacts, and then from to the this one, delete contact. Okay, so from view contact, okay, I'll just I'm going to give you few minutes to review. Okay, just stay there.
I've been waiting for the world to spin my way. I've been waiting for a glance at the sun. And I've been waiting for the world to spin my way. I've been waiting for a chance, and I think it's finally
Okay, that's all for now. And if you have some queries or concerns, you can contact me to my contact details below. And I hope to see you around tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Philippine time for the continuation of our discussion about this web development. This is actually part of the intro part of our discussions. And after these things, we will formally start with a very basic scripting or doing this or learning all of those software technologies that we need to learn for web development. We've just started for this particular topic so that you will map out, or we could somehow summarize the important things that we need to know in web development. So that's why the title for this segment or episode is The Secret in Web Development, because although this is very simple, but many people skip this way of learning or method of learning. So actually you can start from this kind of method or this way, and then you can just trace back for every specific details of every topic along the journey. Okay, so bye bye, and that's all for now.